Hello everyone, I hope that you are having a great day today. I am going to be working with the Echo Park September club kit, and I'm going to be creating, I had mentioned to you when I did the unboxing that they had this pumpkin album that I thought looked really pretty and I might want to give that a try. So I decided I would do that. Wow, this was a lot of work. The file is downloadable and I'm going to take you through how I did all of that. I actually have the Cricut project saved for you, so if you have a Cricut you can use my link. I have created each of the layouts and also color coordinated so that you can get everything cut out from your 12 by 12 pattern papers. I could not find listed on here what the final size of the album was, so I made mine just slightly smaller than 6 by 6. That way, if you only have the 6 by 6 pattern papers, you could still use the same cut file. So mine measures, like I said, just slightly under 6 by 6, giving me a full 6 inches top to bottom from the stem to the bottom of the pumpkin, and then all of the coordinating cardstock is again slightly smaller, so you have the little border. I'm going to walk you through all of this, but I did not film figuring out the measurements and laying everything out because honestly it took a long time. So I have done the work for you, and if you want to make this you can use my link. I hope some of you do because it took me so long. I want other people to be able to use it and save you guys the time. So I will take you over to Design Space and show you how I did everything and how it's color coordinated. And if you print off the instructions, which I will also link below to the PDF of that so you can print this off, you will see that as you go through the file, all of this will match. So while I can't do the actual pattern on the Cricut, I do a color for this particular pattern and for this particular pattern and for this particular color, so that if you want yours to look just like mine, as long as you go through and you match up the color that I have on the Cricut design file with the color that matches here, it will cut everything you need for that. Now, what I did for the front cover is I trimmed out some leaves out of vellum. These are also in the cut file. I also pulled out a pale yellow and a light green, as well as sort of a pinkish maroonish red. Just tried to pick some fall colors from my Recollections cardstock, so that is something different that I have brought in. I also used an orange Recollections cardstock for some of the background. And then as I went through and did this and did the color coordinating, I flipped through the book and I looked at, you know, which pieces were which color, and I pulled my layout up on the screen. And then as I cut things, I did it color by color, and I clipped together what I was going to need for the album. So I started out by cutting out all of the white background pieces, and then I worked front to back using all of the colors individually that I needed the certain pieces cut out of. And this will make sense again when I take you over to the cut file, but I just want to give you sort of a preliminary idea of how I did this. So I took each individual pumpkin, this is the front cover, and I cut all of the pieces for that, lined it up, paper clipped it together, and then flipped that over so that way you could see exactly how I was working, what I needed for the inside if I had all of the pieces that I needed. And as I cut, so when I cut all of this wood grain at the same time. So I would just flip through and look at what coordinated. I added this one to the front paper clip, this one to the back side of that, and then, sorry, I'm sort of out of view here. And then continuing to go through, I knew I was going to need a little bit more of these. So again, flipping to the next one and adding this down. And I just sort of filled it as I went along, and that way I knew that I was getting the colors that I wanted. Now again, I have this color coded, so if you follow this just as you go along, you will be able to just cut that and then have the pieces that you need, and you can fill it in just like I did. All right, so I have hopped here into Design Space. I want to give you a quick look at how I laid this out and color coordinated things for you. Before we go into Design Space, I do want to show you the Echo Park website. You're going to want to get the instructions from here. So you'll just go to clubechopark.com/downloads, and then you want to get the September kit file. So this will give you the SVG and the instructions. If you have a Cricut, you will not need the SVG. I have cleaned that up for you and color coordinated things. If you're not on a Cricut, I'm really sorry. You may be able to pull up the Cricut link. I'm not sure. This is the only cutting machine that I have. I don't know if it will work between this and, you know, a Silhouette or something else like that. But if you have a Cricut, you should be all set. So what I have done here is I have laid out each of the spreads exactly the way they are in the instructions. I printed off the instructions, and then I went ahead and color coded the pattern papers as I was doing them. I actually did this. I cut each individual pattern as I was going so that I would make sure that I was getting all of the colors the same for you guys. So I've double checked this. Hopefully there are no flaws in it. If there are, please let me know so that I can fix it for others who might want to use it in the future. But it should have the majority of the things in here that need cut in order to do these layouts. There were a few things as I went along, especially as I was doing trimming some things down and also doing the additional pages where they had left them blank so we could sort of do whatever we wanted with them. That I just sort of did as I was working, so you won't find cut files for all of those, but you should be able to see what I'm doing and figure out, you know, just trimming down the pattern papers. I think that should be fairly simple. If you have questions, you can always ask me below and I'll do my best to help you out if I can. So back to Design Space here, I have laid this out exactly like the instructions. So if you go through picture by picture, it's going to show you the color code that I used for each of the pattern papers. Just for a quick example, for this orange, this darker orange color, I used the orange, two-tone orange polka dot. I used 12 by 12 for all of these. So I did the two-tone orange polka dot for this, and this way it will cut all of the layers that you need on the one page. You may need two to fit everything in, but you can always pull from the 6x6 pattern paper if you need to. So this is going to cut this orange, this orange, this orange. That's all the same orange color going down through. And then what I actually did first was I cut all of the white cardstock out, and then I laid those together, and as I cut each color I would flip through and find which one it coordinated with, and then I paper clipped that. So I made sure that I had what I needed, and then I could just do a quick flip through once I had everything finished to make sure that it was in the order that it was supposed to be in and that everything matched the way that it needed to. Going along those same lines, I did a layer of a light orange behind this cutout here. Maybe it will let me move it. Yes, I don't have it grouped. So this lighter orange, again, that's all going to be cutting from the same color. So you've got that, this sort of notepad design, this background here, and I think that's it for that. Oh, and then another background for the back cover. And going along those same lines, when you go down to the next picture, you see that first spread in the instructions. This dark brown is going to coordinate with all of the wood grain. So it's going to cut out this stem up here, this background here, this background here, and then I added in one more background for the very last page. They had left that white. I wanted to add a little something more there. Again, continuing on, this yellow is going to be what I used for that small print of the orange and yellow and red tiny leaf pattern. Again, I used the 12 by 12 for all of these, but this was the smaller of the leaf pattern. And so this yellow color is going to cut out, this yellow color on the mat is going to cut out all of the different pieces that you need out of that smaller leaf pattern paper, and it will continue all the way down. This mint green is the stand-in for the stripe, the blue is the stand-in for the blue polka dot. I tried to keep them similar where I could, but I did run out of colors and I had to bring in some of the bolder, sort of less fall or less similar colors, but if you just follow the instructions, they're all in the same order. Let's see. I think that's everything I need to tell you. Oh, for the leaves, these leaves up here, I cut these out in 4 different colors. I did a very light yellow, a sort of olive green, a reddish pink maroon, and then vellum. And I just used Recollections thin cardstock for that and went ahead and layered those. I didn't have extra Echo Park paper that were in solids, so I just pulled from my stash. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hop over to getting everything put together for you. I will speed this up quite a bit. It took me a while to get everything put together. This was a full couple nights worth of work, but thankfully it all came together. I'm really pleased with what I ended up with, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, so just in case I didn't, I will have a public link to all of the work that I've done to coordinate these colors and size everything down. It will be directly the very first thing that you see inside the description box below. So if you want to make this project, you can click that link and it will take you right into the Cricut design space with all of this color coordinated and sized down and ready to go for you. All you have to do is hit make it. Okay, so here is a walkthrough of the finished album. I'm going to give you a nice close-up look at each of the pages. I'll show you all of the flips and everything that were included. And then if you want a still shot of all of these will be listed on my blog post for you. So if you want to case this, you'll be able to get a really nice, good look at everything. I love this front cover. I think it's so pretty. I love their ideas of layering all of these leaves together, especially putting in the vellum, and this little bow on top is just sort of the perfect little thing to just finish everything up. Now, I do not have any smaller rings than this, so I actually ended up taking my hole punch and making these holes just a little bit bigger. I'm going to have to invest in getting some smaller ones because I do think it looks a little bit funny. But if you wanted to put a lot of pictures and extra things in here, the chunkier ones may be the better way to go. So here is a close-up of the front cover here. Love the layering of the two oranges as well. Just really gives it a nice pop. For the inside, we've got a tuck spot here, some layered chipboard and stickers and enamel dots, and then two little tags that you can add some memories to or some very small pictures. And then here we've got a frame. You could add a photo to that as well. This next page has a flip up. Of course, it's layered as well, and then you can fit two pictures on the inside here. This next page also has a flip. Two more photos. And then this page here has a place just to put a flat photo. And I don't have anything here. Let me grab this. So the way that I put this down, I added some powder behind my sticker so that you'll be able to slide down any larger photos that you'd want to. And then I would, if it were me, I would actually, once I get the photo in there and I know which one I'm going to keep, I would add some glue underneath that just to make sure this stays nice and stuck down. Of course, I've also got the chipboard up at the top here. I changed that a little bit. It's slightly different from what they had, but same similar idea. The next one here is another flat picture place, and again you can slide the picture underneath this crate that I have here up at the top. Here is another flip. Because my size is slightly different than theirs, I wasn't able to lay it out exactly the same. This is one of the ones where I trimmed it down and then just cut my own cardstock for the flip, adding about 1/8 of an inch around here. And this is a little different here too. I've added on this chipboard sticker. This will flip up. Again, space for two more pictures, this time a little bit of a larger version. The next page, again, a place for a flat photo. I have added the powder behind this fall market here so you can slide in the photo there. And another flip here. I love these. These are so pretty, but they are not going to last very long hanging off the edge like that. I may, if I were to do it again, I might tuck them in just a little bit more so that they're not quite as fragile hanging off the edge there. But I do have another flip here. Again, space for two more photos. Here I've created a little banner, again, just gluing around the top so you can slide a photograph underneath there. For this one, I've created another little tuck spot, added in a few more tags, and then one of the pieces of ephemera. You could also put another one of the folding photo frames in here, adding a few more photos. You could put that in addition to the tags or instead of the tags. Another place for a flat photo. Now I did somewhat glue these leaves down, but I only put a very, very small dot there so I could easily pry that up and stick something underneath there and then add another little dot of glue to keep that in place. For this one here, I've created sort of a belly band, kind of a tuck spot here, just added some score tape off to the side to keep that down nice and tight, and then I've got two of these folding photograph pages for some smaller ones. You could actually fit 3 on this one, 2 in the center and 1 in the back. Same thing for this one. It will do the exact same thing. Added a few enamel dots there. You could also journal on these too and add in some memories if you went on a trip or did something special that day. It doesn't have to be for photos. Again, another flat photo on both of these, and again I have added some powder behind this so you can slide your photo in behind each of these. For this one I added a little vellum. I really wanted to use both of these together in the spread, but I felt like I needed something to sort of tone down this background before I placed this chipboard sticker. So I did that with the vellum and I think that worked really well. And here I've done another tuck spot, this time actually taking that off the edge, or belly band, tuck spot, whatever you want to call it. I've added this piece of ephemera just for something a little extra, and again placed in some photo or memory folds here. This one folds, and then this one is just flat. You could put, again, a memory or a photograph on the back of that. Lastly, I wanted to create a little pocket. Maybe you have some tickets from a trip that you went on, or you went to a carnival or something like that that you want to put in here for memories. For now, I added in another one of the blank photo spots, as well as one that would fold, just so you get the idea of what you can use that for. I just used some score tape on all 3 sides to create a little pocket there. And then lastly, we have the back cover, which matches the front just without the flowers. So that is the finished project. I am really pleased with how it came out. I just think this is so pretty. It was such a great idea they came up with. So I'm enjoying the mini albums lately. I don't do a whole lot of them. As I've mentioned to you guys before, I don't take a whole lot of photos, but I am trying to do more of that, more documenting. So hopefully there will be more of these in videos in the future. Here are a few close-ups of the finished project. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.